Hey, welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. Flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Never, ever, ever force anything. Don't make anything fit. And know, again, because energy is fluid, part of the message can resonate more with you, and another part of the message could resonate with your person, the person that you're tapped into. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, anything that you need to know about my giveaways, how to connect with me on any of my social media, how to book a personal reading, how to find out about any of my subscriptions, you can find this information in the subscription box below. Now, if you resonate with this video, give it a like, comment the word healer, and subscribe to the channel. Those three things can get you enter into winning a free psychic reading with me. That is my giveaway of the day, and it will also be in the description box if you need to know. Now, you'll also know if you're chosen if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. Now, if I did, then you just need to reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com, and we will work out a good time that both you and I can do your reading. All right. Now, again, for most of you guys that have, know me, you know that I always like to start my readings looking at the spiritual energy, which means I'm going to look at the karmic energy. I'm going to look at what type of relationship you're in, whether this is a soulmate twin flame, whether it's just a soulmate relationship, whether it's a karmic bond, what kind of karmic cycle are you in? Because all my readings, whether on this page or on my Psychic Soul Healer channel, are all about learning to heal the shadow aspects of ourselves by integrating spiritual wounds into spiritual gifts. So a story does unfold within the cards that if you've landed on this message, you're most likely going to resonate with it because, again, energy, spiritual energy, like goes to like. So when we're looking at our spiritual wounds in a relationship, we're looking at a person's behaviorisms, we're looking at emotions, we're looking at, again, behaviorisms that are blocking the relationship from flourishing. So I always like to open up the story with, again, looking at the blocks, because if we understand what our triggers are, if we understand what our wounds are, then we can understand why a person is doing what they're doing, and we can then we have the power right then and there to change an outcome, to shape shift our reality into a reality that works better karmically for ourselves. Because every situation and every experience has many different outcomes, many, many, many different outcomes, depending on what you do. There's been movies about it. Okay, the first card out is reactive. So I'm feeling like someone that you're connected to is very frustrated in the connection because you're not acting, Virgo, like they suspected you to act. And so when you're dealing with someone that has a big ego, and I do feel like this is a soulmate twin flame relationship, because the reactive energy is, again, why a trigger happens. So I'm just going to pull randomly out of my trigger deck. I want to see what the triggers are, what the trigger was, because it shows that, again, your person was coming from a very ego-based consciousness. They have to have everything their way. They have a lot of wounds around relationships. And again, they weren't being fair. They weren't treating you fair. They actually wanted you to chase them, and they didn't want you to say anything. And because you did, they reacted. I feel like for some of you, they might have unfriended you on Facebook or tried to do something petty because they don't have a very strong relationship to you too to really get back at you or to really harm you. See, that's the problem with intimacy. Yeah, with intimacy issues. Because look, unsafe. I felt I could no longer feel safe with you. I am scared of you. I feel like Virgo, the person that you're connected to, they do a lot of things that make you not feel safe with them. However, they don't feel safe in a connection, and not because of you, but because of, again, all their past relationships. So they've learned to manipulate situations in order for the situation to work best for them, and you weren't falling for it. Again, just because it's when it's a soulmate twin flame relationship, it means that there are deep-seated wounds. Deep-seated wounds need to be transmuted, and they can only be transmuted by the fire element. Fire element is passion. However, when you're dealing with a soulmate twin flame that are not on the same energetic vibration, what you're dealing with is a person the person that is on a lower vibration is being called to heal, to evolve into a higher state of consciousness. So the twin flame connection is all about stepping into our best self. So even though we're seeing a twin here that most likely, again, ran away, did things to out of reaction, because again, acting emotionally, because they don't express emotions, playing a lot of games to make sure that the outcome was always best for them. So they weren't really creating a good relationship bonds in the past, which got them very bad outcomes, and a bad outcome is it would wind up being a very toxic connection, where this is why you would feel not safe. So this person is stuck in that behaviorism of not feeling safe, but they're creating it. They're creating it. So confronting, and then that's what you did. You confronted this person, but because this person is a highly sensitive due to trauma, right? When we live in traumatic experiences, we overthink, then we overfeel. So, and we take everything personally. So your person can't take any type of criticism at all. They see it as you're lashing out at them. They see that you're calling them the enemy. They need to really work out anger issues, and they have anger issues that, again, when a person acts like this, they don't feel safe. That's a root chakra imbalance, because safety doesn't come from our relationship. It comes from ourselves. So I'm feeling a very codependent relationship here, or this person's use of codependency, which is what they're trying to set it up, and you're not codependent. That's more or less, again, now what I'm feeling. Okay. So this is why we do the healing part of the reading first. You can understand, right? Because what we would be in a relationship with someone that we really felt connected to, Virgo, but all of their actions are it's a psychological reversal. Like, this person is sabotaging the connection with you because, again, you don't feel safe, but it's because they don't feel safe. Now, again, soulmate twin flame relationship usually have wounds that mirror each other, right? Again, we're a mirror of each other. So the message is really about looking at codependency, looking at passion and love, looking at individuality and codependency. because we learn to feel safe by being safe within ourselves. I check on you from afar. Yeah, so your person, again, is still stalking you. Their energy is around you because, again, they're still connected. They can't break or manipulate love. Unconditional love, which, again, soulmate twin flames have, person feels like home, right? And so they feel like home because they are. Your souls recognize each other. And so they recognize each other from past life, from spiritual lessons that have played out, lifetimes that have played out, and again, specific lessons that played out that were probably not learned in the past life. And so what they're realizing is this relationship is like no other, because usually they can, again, manipulate it. They have never let anyone that close. So they usually get over it. They can usually drink themselves away, fuck themselves away, do something themselves away in order to forget the other person. And your person can't. They're still hooked on you. I dive in and out of relationships, which, again, this is what I was saying. Again, these surface relationships so that they don't have to form an emotional connection. That's their wound. But the problem is they have an emotional connection to you without trying, because, again, that's what happens with the soulmate twin flame relationship. So they don't have control of themselves because emotionally they're not equipped to understand, again, feelings, because they again, they have surface relationships. And they, again, look at the passion, but they don't really create experiences where you can have a bond. Sex is not, it can be an experience, don't get me wrong. Could also be a bad experience, but it could be, it could be an experience, but the relationship needs to have more experiences, more than sex. There needs to be playing together, doing things together, and really nurturing the relationship. And because your person didn't do this, I feel, Virgo, you have not created a strong enough bond. So there's a sense of you can be detached. And so your person doesn't understand that why their tricks are not working. And in the midst of their frustration, again, person has a trigger, they're getting aggravated. And so they get reactive, right? And when they react, when persons reactionary, they sabotage themselves by doing something. So we can understand this. I mean, we've all been in a relationship where, again, we're like stuck in wanting things our way. Wanting things our way. Okay, I want a new beginning with you. But the thing is, it's like now they're realizing, now that they were reactionary, they're realizing things now about you. And now, so they're feeling like they're on an emotional roller coaster again, where 1 second they don't want it, the next second they're reactionary, the next second they're saying, well, maybe it could be this way, and they can figure it out. That's that person fighting and working through their ego. No, they don't want to surrender. But a person really loves when they're able to surrender their ego, because the ego is about self, where, again, your soulmate twin flame is about learning unconditional love, and really unconditional love for self in a healthy way, not through a gluttony way, because this person is living out of balance where they're fighting it. Again, they're trying to control the situation. Okay, I didn't mean what I said. And I feel like in this instant, I feel like they did react because when you might have shared something with them that was personal to you, or again, how you felt, and they didn't respond in an appropriate way. So that was number one, because again, they're not comfortable, and they're not comfortable in themselves, and they don't know how to express their emotions and feel, again, just comfortable in themselves. Someone taught this person that they were not allowed to show or feel emotions. And so they suppress them. And then when you didn't react how they wanted to, they reacted, and they reacted not just by saying things, but by doing petty things. And almost like someone that is in high school. Childhood wounding is influencing my actions. So it's again, this is why saying someone taught your person that they weren't allowed to be an expressive person, an emotional person. And so they are living mainly from their wounds. They're not living from their higher self. So they need healing. But let's look at the hidden truths, because even though we know that this person, to be in a relationship with this person, they're you're gonna see red flags all over the place. They're gonna have commitment issues, they're gonna have one foot in, one foot out. They need to heal themselves first. And it's not because they don't love. Love is a feeling, love is unconditional. This person wishes that they didn't love. They're trying to like run from it, cut it off. Again, they're trying to do everything to escape because they would have to change their life. And remember, the ego creates false perceptions that make us feel better about ourselves, that tell the story from a distorted perception that keeps us safe, and sometimes safe emotionally. But we see that we still want to know what the hidden truths are. Does what is a person remorseful? Is a person, I mean, that's our ego. It's time for me to heal now. So it's again, that's what I said. Your person knows that again, this situation unfolded for them to create healing. So again, a lot of times with soulmate twin flames, it's not that where you're not going to be together with that person, but there are stages where there is separation. And during that separation, there's healing. So many things remind me of you again. So there's that love cannot be disconnected. You're in that person's heart. So when you're in a person's heart, you see them everywhere. It's almost the way that mediumship works, right? It's like you all of a sudden, you're, someone that you love passes away, and then you begin to see signs and symbols that remind you of that person, because you hold that person in your heart. You hold that person in your consciousness, in your memories, and those never die. Unconditional love never dies. You can't manipulate it. You can't distort it. There's no breaking it. This person thought that they could control it. And so now that there is separation, and they, created a lot of wounds by playing a lot of stupid games, they're seeing again that this is a relationship like no other. I regret lying to you. And I believe that your person was trying to build themselves up. They don't like who they are. So because they don't like who they are, because they don't really know who they are, they're still walking around with those childhood wounds, they lie about who they are. They show people what they want to show them, but sometimes it's inaccurate, and they know that it's not as accurate as they want to perceive, because they don't like their life. They don't like who they are. Soulmate twin flame cards. Soulmate twin flame cards. Let's see. I'm sorry for leaving you hanging there. No excuse for my actions. I want to reconcile with you. So it's again, I believe that your person does want to come back to you again, because they're realizing that this is a relationship like no other. And it is because it made them finally look at themselves, look at their life, look at their actions. They want love. Everyone wants love. It's a human need to want love. We can shut our heart off because of past relationships, but in this story, this person tried to do all of that and was always successful in the past because those relationships were not divine. I believe this soulmate twin flame relationship is divine. Now, this story was told mainly from the one person's perception, which was the person that ran, the person that needs the healing, the person that has the wounding. Let's just see how you feel. Because again, just because this person has this reconciliation, wants to reconcile, and if they're having this awareness of who you are and what you mean to them, maybe now you're a little salty. Maybe now you don't want it. Maybe now you're like, well, now that they did that, what are the consequences for them? Okay, right now you're like speed, progress, movement, rushing, excitement times, travel. Really, like your person is going to travel to come and see you. And you are happy. You are happy, okay? Because there's card really represents to me a lot of rushing and a lot of fast movement. So there's a lot of there's a lot of thoughts. And so in agreement from you, Virgo, you're willing. Now, obviously, it's a general message. So all of you may not resonate. But in this story, right now, right here, there is a sense of your person is going to rush ahead. And I feel like in their excited, in their emotional state, again, they're more or less reacting from their emotions. They're not coming from a logical state. And I think it's because for the longest time, they only came from a logical state, which is what's most convenient and what was most convenient for them and what was the easiest and what was the most logical thing to do for their life was not to get involved in another relationship that might go south, what that might hurt them. So because they suppress this, I feel like they are coming in fast. But I also feel for you, Virgo, that you're willing to talk to this person, and it stirs up a lot of emotion within inside you, which might have been dormant, but also there's excitement and there's feelings and yeah, like there's a sense of, again, Six of Pentacles, like, well, like, which now is when it's reversed is not not bad. It's like, I feel like support, generosity. So like you're not going to run into a big relationship with this person. What I'm feeling is it's like you care about this person, you have strong feelings, you understand that this is a divine union, but your person needs healing. So they're not exactly on the same vibration. However, there's still that connection of unconditional love. So you're willing to let them back into your life. And maybe as a more or less like a friend, where they would have to earn your trust. This is what I'm feeling. And the reason why is because that unconditional love, you can't deny either. And you can't deny either because there really are true feelings there. There's really is that soulmate twin flame bond. Now you may say, well, the person's on a different vibration, so how? Listen, and that you may be on a different vibration later on in the relationship, because twin flame soulmates, they are the counterpart. They are the divine counterpart, which the opposite treats. So we're now talking about you're with the male and the female. What I'm talking about is your counterpart has your exact opposite traits as their strength. So you may be very intuitive, you may be very spiritual, you may be very open-hearted and free-spirited, where your person's very logical, very grounded, very structured, very organized, very methodical. So the two people, again, have gifts, and they approach life through their, again, gifts. They interact with the world through the way that they perceive the world and how they feel comfortable. But both parties are in balance when there's too much. If I'm too much yin, or I'm too much yang, I'm too much male, I'm too much female, then I'm not balanced. I need to have both traits. So your divine counterpart brings out the best within you. What we're seeing here is that this soulmate twin flame relationship obviously starts off on an energetic difference. Well, one person's playing around, Virgo. Now you can take it as it resonates. This could be you playing around, running around, and 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and not making a connection, or your person. Now I'm feeling it's more your person, however. And now the tables have turned. I act like I don't care when deep down I really do. This game was what they did. And I feel like that's the game you both play, because you both have fear of abandonment, you both have fear and deep-seated wounding. Because if you're pulling in a person like this, Virgo, it means that you also have fear of abandonment. You also need to learn forgiveness. You also need to learn certain spiritual traits that are going to help you evolve. And you get this person in your life that you have such an intense connection with, because there is unconditional love. So your person wants a second try, and they're really going to try. You know, they're sorry. They're sorry. They want to reconcile with you. They're really in remorse. They, you know, are so sorry for lying to you, and you know, it's time for them to heal. So this relationship is divine, all for healing. Because that's what soulmate twin flame relationships are for. And so many things remind me of you, because again, they realize that they ran from the relationship, but you can never break that bond of unconditional love. I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. If you resonated with this, give me a like, again, comment, let me know, be interactive with me. And if you'd like a free psychic reading with me, you got to do those 3 things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. All right, I'm not going to repeat them. I'm going to end it there. All right, bye-bye, guys.